Alright, things look pretty good in the video there. So we're going to go back to doing some chromatic stuff here, and this will be how we get your fingers moving a bit better. The chord stuff you were doing is really to get your hands in like better positioning and whatnot, but I want to try this here. You've done something similar to this. Now, what I want you to do here, this is shorter than one we've done before. Like before, we went all the way up to the high E string and then came back down. Well, now we're just going to go the E, A, D string, back to the A, back to the E. And what I want you to do is shoot for getting that 240. So if you get 240 before next week, send me a video of you doing it. I just want to make sure everything sounds good, okay? If you don't reach 240, not a big deal. But doing the shorter exercise for building speed should make it much easier to get up to the faster speeds there. So I'm going to demo this at some different speeds so you can double check what I do with what you do. And yeah, still starting at 60 every practice session, just like it says on the PDF. And one note per click for right now. Yes, one note per click. We're going to really ease into it. Just make sure that you remember to lay back on stuff. Make sure that everything is lined up with your click. 60 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. One 60. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now eventually we're going to be having you do speeds of 2 notes a click at this. So we want to make sure you do 1 note per click first. Now as far as 4 notes a click, I don't know, that's pretty, hey, if we can, great. But we're at least a couple weeks off from that, right? At least a couple. Anyway, so yeah, we're barely building up nice and slow and controlled for the speed stuff, okay? All right, so 3 new rhythms. We're also going to get some string changing. And when you do change strings, you will be doing so while keeping the same frets. So like going from this G5 to the C5, you're going to change strings, but you stay on the same frets. And then when you go from the D5 back to the A5, same frets. Now, when I play these power chords that start on the A string, I have my thumb over the top of the guitar. So this way my thumb is muting that low E string. So I can strum like crazy and I don't hear the low E string ringing out. So if you don't mute that, well, it sounds terrible. So if you can get your thumb over the top, definitely do so. Fantastic habit to build. Now, that might seem contradictory towards, like, when you're playing these chords, you need your thumb back here behind your hand. For these chords, yes, absolutely. Doing big old stretches and whatnot, like your scale shapes and everything, yes, you want your thumb back here. It depends on what you're playing, okay? But for this, yes, you want your thumb up over the top. This way you can mute that low E string. It's also handy when you're doing things like little bends like that. So this way you can get this string rake thing going on here to make the bend sound even bigger. So anyway, if you can mute with your thumb up at the top, definitely get in that habit. If you can't, if for some reason you just cannot get your thumb up over there, the other thing to do is make sure your index finger is up underneath the low E string when you're playing the power chords on the starting on the A string. Okay. Some people actually use the middle finger to mute like that. It is okay if you can consistently do it well. Problem is, if you're always relying on that, then that means you have one less finger you can use for other chords. So it's best to use your thumb over the top of the guitar or your index finger up underneath the low E when you're playing the C5 and D5 for this one. Okay, so bars 1 and 2, different rhythms. And then bars 3 is the same rhythmically as bar 1. Bar 4 is the same rhythmically as bar 2. So just getting you thinking a little bit more here. So here it is at 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Under 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Okay. Number 3. We are introducing a new rhythm symbol. Dotted half note. So you know it's a dotted half note because there's a dot right after the half note. So a dotted half note lasts the equivalent of 3 quarter notes. And because we're in a 4/4 time signature, 1 quarter note equals 1 beat. So our dotted half note will ring out for 3 beats. So you're going to strum the dotted half note on beat 2, and that's going to ring out across beats 2, 3, and 4. So this one we have the open E5 chord being used. Now I want you to get in the habit of using your index finger to get into that chord. So you can do a lot of things when your hand is in this position. Anyway, so yeah, just bar the A and D string with the index finger. You don't want to put too much pressure on everything because you don't want that to happen. Just enough so those 3 strings are heard. So you're barring just those 2 strings there. So you just be careful you don't have too much pressure and wind up fretting the G string. You'll be touching the G string, but you don't want to fret it. So a little bit of subtlety that you got to get used to with the index finger, but it's definitely a possible thing to do. Many, many people do it, and you're one of them. Maybe not right this second, but you will be at least. Anyway, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. And number 4. Now we have the dotted whole or dotted half note. Dotted half note at the start of the bar here. And I just remembered, I want to mention that when you add a dot to any rhythm value, you are extending the length of that value by half. So half of a half note is 1/4 note. So you put a dot after your half note, you just extended it by half of that. So that's why it is an extra 1/4 note in length. Now, if we had a time signature such as a 6/4 time signature, that means we have 6 1/4 notes that fill up the bar. Well, then we could do a dotted whole note. So the whole note gets 4 1/4 notes. Half of that is 2. So when you dot the whole note, now you have 6 1/4 notes in length. So a dotted whole note would last 6 1/4 notes, and in the case of a 6/4 time signature, it would last all 6 beats. We cannot have a we cannot have a whole note or dotted whole note. Goodness, I can't talk. We can't have a dotted whole note in a 4/4 time signature because a 4/4 time signature will not allow a 6-beat rhythm to fit. Dotted whole note's too big to fit in the 4/4 time signatures. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Here we go with number 4, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Oh, goodness. All right, so sorry. For number 1, if you get that to 240 before next week, send me a video of you doing that. So this way we can move on to the next step with that earlier. Then I believe you're still working on practicing your scales. So, question for you is, how many scale shapes do you currently have? Or how many do you have memorized, I should ask. And so next time I see you, we'll move forward. Yeah, we'll move forward with newer theory stuff. Just be easier to do the newer theory stuff when we can actually go talk back and forth. Yeah, it would just be easier that way. So, if you have any questions with this stuff, please let me know. And I know you said you're most likely gone next week, so I'll be seeing you in your videos. So yeah, same thing when you're ready to record stuff. Like for numbers 2, 3, and 4, just do it at 60 and 120. And then for number 1, again, if you get that to 240, just send a video of that right away. And then if you do not get to 240 for the video demo, just play it 20 beats per minute well, do it at 60 and 20 beats per minute slower than the fastest tempo you got through the week. Alright, I'll see you in your videos.